BYJU'S Exam Prep brings to you the first All India Open Mock Test from 23rd of September to the 2nd of October. Go ahead and register now in the BYJU'S Exam Prep app and compete against thousands of aspirants.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep. My name is Alpa Sharma and this is our weekly editorial analysis. I hope I'm clearly audible and visible to everyone. Very, very good morning. Yes, looks like everything's clearly audible and visible. So we are back with another editorial article that I've brought for you today. And we're going to be learning many things through the article. And I have a surprise for you towards the end. I'll tell you exactly what the surprise is, but I'll keep it safe for the second half of the class, okay? And we're going to be starting off with a new addition to every time you see me. And that's exactly what the surprise is. So I'll keep it safe for the end. I'll tell you what exactly are we going to do, but not for now, towards the second half of the class. Now let's quickly have a look at a few things. What are we going to be doing? But before that, remember today our All India Open CLAT 2023 mock starts and the window will close on October 2nd. If you haven't registered yourself yet, make sure you register yourself today and take the mock at the priority because it's this mock is open for everyone. I want all of you to take it so that you know where do you stand amongst many, many thousands of people who are going to take this mock as well. It's going to be a reality check for you. So make sure you sit for this mock. Now, what are we going to be doing in the class today? So I have one article that I have brought from an editorial, and this article is pretty much like the articles you get in the RCs in CLAT. The way the writing style this article has is pretty close to the kind of writing style you see in CLAT. Not a very difficult one, but the tone is tricky. And there are a lot of difficult words that you'll see in today's article. So we'll be analyzing that article. We'll be learning how to draw inferences, how to derive the contextual meaning of the word while we read these articles. There's another thing that I'd like to tell you. There are a lot of new people who've joined my class. I want you to know what exactly is the purpose of these classes. The surprise, I'll tell you what the surprise is. Stick with me towards the second half of the class, okay? I'll tell you what the surprise is. Now, a lot of new people keep joining me every class, and let me make it clear what is the purpose of having these classes. The purpose is that you know exactly एक passage को कैसे पढ़ना चाहिए. जब आप RC लेके बैठते हो एग्जाम में, how are you supposed to read that article? उसको कैसे पढ़ना है, उसको कैसे एनालाइज करना है, उसमें डिफिकल्ट वोकैबुलरी तो उसको कैसे हैंडल करना है, और बाय द एंड हम उस आर्टिकल को ऐसे पढ़े कि हम सारे क्वेश्चंस आंसर कर पाए विदाउट रेफरिंग बैक टू द पैसेज इवन वंस. So that's what I try to teach you every time I see you in these classes every Friday and Saturday. Today is Friday. That's the first class of the week is going to be happening here. And by the end of the class, we discuss the main idea, the tone of the author, and we review today's Hindu, Indian Express, and I recommend 2 articles from the Aeon or any other editorial or magazine for you to read during the course of the next few days. So that's what we're going to be doing towards the end of the article. So ये हमारा agenda है. इसमें एक और pointer add कर देते हैं आज का surprise. So मैं आपको ये surprise by the end of the class बताऊंगी और ये हम अब हर class में करेंगे if you like it. So that's the condition about it. So jaldi se start karte. It helps me a lot in understanding passages and reading in the right way. That's the whole agenda, Simran. I'm glad that it helps you. I'm so happy it helps you. That's the whole idea of the class. Okay, चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. I'll show you the first page of the article. ठीक है? Simple article है. पढ़ते हैं वो page. While you're reading the page, remember आपको सबसे पहले वो lines identify करनी है where the author is trying to put across an argument of his own. कौन सी lines argument है? And 2, obviously, what lines are premise. Because once you know what an argument is, what a premise is, आपके लिए skimming will become very easy. और CLAT और ALET में skimming करना पड़ेगा आपको because there are going to be 6 and 9 passages respectively in CLAT and ALET. So, first page, here you go. Identify the argument and the premise here. Good luck. Prapti, I'll do that today. Looks like premise. Absolutely. While you read this page, I'm sure you understand that this page is trying to set up this scene of an argument the author is going to put across. The whole page is premise. Also, जब आप ये पेज पढ़ रहे हो, do you realize इस तरह की स्टोरी टेलिंग, इस तरह के कॉन्वर्सेशंस बेस्ड आर्टिकल्स बहुत प्रोमिनेंट है क्लैट में. If you remember the conversation between Sherlock and his friend Dr. Brown, similar. If you remember the article on why a man hated humans and why he fell in love with nature, it was a similar kind of article. This article is simple, but I just couldn't leave this one because the writing style was pretty similar to what CLAT gives us. Short stories. This is a short story. So we're going to be reading it through that methodology. पूरा पेज एक बैकग्राउंड सेटअप कर रहा है. बट इस पेज से हम कुछ चीजें लर्न कर सकते हैं, हम कुछ चीजें इन्फर कर सकते हैं. वी कैन डिराइव अ फ्यू थिंग्स फ्रॉम दिस पेज. लेट मी एक्सप्लेन व्हाट ऑल कैन बी डिराइव्ड. Whenever a background is being set up in the initial part of the story, the minute details help you set up your mindset. कि भाई ये background जो है, for example, if it's raining a lot, for example, the cat in the rain, you remember that article? Rain है, cold है, he's hungry. एक gloomy setup हो गया था उस चीज से, if you remember that. So all of these situations, the bonfire, sore throat, the toddler banging his shovel against the sand bucket, willing to go out, but the mother not willing to send him out, is setting up a mood of the reader the author wants you to be in. What is the mood the author wants you to be in is my question. Yes, yes, Shreya. So now my question is, what is the mood here the author wants you to be in? Yes, the argument between the husband and wife may be important. The physical instances quoted in the page can be important. What is the mood the author wants you to be in? कैसी situation set up कर रहा है? Positive, negative, neutral, gloomy, worried, argumentative. हाँ श्रेया, ऑफ कोर्स टोन तो यहाँ नेगेटिव है, बट आपका क्या मूड सेट करना चाहता है वो? कैसी सिचुएशन बता रहा है वो? ग्लूमी, यस. अनहैप्पी, यस. आर्ग्यूमेंटेटिव, यस. Skeptical, yes, absolutely. All these instances that she woke up with a sore throat, the husband and wife are arguing, it's absolutely all of the negative connotations added to the situation here. Okay, I'm not referring to the tone of the author here in the page. The tone is narrative, absolutely narrative. But situation kaisi bata rahe? It's absolutely a negative one. Okay, also this toddler, because he's banging his shovel against the sand bucket, he wants to go out. He's desperate to go out. Children always like to play outside. But there's a situation why the child cannot be sent out. आगे देखते क्या होता है स्टोरी में. Second page, read this and send me a done. Is there an argument in the page? We're coming closer to the main idea here. Is there an argument in the page? What is it? What is the argument the author is putting across here? The last line, yes, Ahana, the last line is. It is an argument. The author is, there is an argument, Shreya. What is the argument? The last line is something else as well is hinting towards the main idea that the situation outside is bad, specifically pertaining to the environmental crisis we are in. Can we infer, one, say yes or no with this, okay? Can we infer that the author is trying to hint towards the climate change? Scientists don't know as well. So, I'll repeat. Can we infer the author is trying to hint towards the effects of climate change? The second paragraph, whole till this part, is a premise, giving situations of how your day-to-day activities can be hampered because of climate change. This as well is an impact of climate change. These people, this family going on a vacation for the first time ever after COVID hit them, and they not being able to enjoy that also is hinting towards climate change with the reference of forest fire. Now, of course, yes. Now, I have another question. Is forest fire a premise, or is it a part of my main argument till now? What do you think? Absolutely. Wildfire smoke is resulting in deteriorating air quality index. My question is, this wildfire, is it a part of my main argument or is it a part of premise only? Think about it. Part of the main argument, okay? Premise, argument. Till now, it's a part of the main argument. Till now. अभी तक तो 2 pages में कुछ नहीं पता चल रहा मुझे ना. It looks like it's a part of the main argument. We'll keep it pending. Another thing. Why am I asking you these questions? ये questions आपको अपने आप से पूछने while you're reading an article. That's exactly how you retain information while you answer questions. 6 passages आएंगे CLAT में, 9 आएंगे ALET में. You cannot refer back to the passage for each question. Certainly not for the main idea, tone of the author, structure of the passage, such questions, inference. No, you cannot refer back. If you analyze the article in this manner in your head, this will help you retain information and draw inferences even before you see a question. Okay, so we'll keep this pending. For now, we think wildfire is a part of the main idea, but we still don't know. Also, what an irony. Hi, they are concerned about AQI 122, AQI 100 से ऊपर उनके लिए unhealthy for sensitive group. भाई 100 तो हमारे गांव में हो जाता है. दिल्ली की AQI और बैंगलोर की AQI की तो हम बात ही नहीं कर रहे हैं. Where are we living in? This is about America, West Coast, जहाँ 100 से ऊपर है AQI, smog है, and they are so worried. Look at us. Where are we living? I'm not continuing this conversation anymore. Let's read the next page and let's see if wildfire is still a part of the argument or premise now. Page number 3, read this and send me a done. Done, everyone? Okay. Do you still think wildfire is a part of the main argument, or is it being converted into premise? Answer this question. Do you still think wildfire is a part of the premise or the main argument still? Also, people who join me late, I have a surprise for you after this article ends. Stick with me. It has absolutely become a part of the premise. Those people who could foresee it in the first 2 pages, excellent. I could. It was a part of setting the background of a bigger picture. मैं आपको हमेशा बताती हूँ bigger picture देखो. Wildfire is a part of it's a subset of the bigger picture. The bigger picture is the climate change. Wildfire increase हो रहा है. Kids are unable to go outside. Parents have plans for their kids. Their childhood was different because climate change तब इतना severe नहीं था. Now it has become a lot severe. Wildfire is merely setting up the premise for a bigger claim, the change of the climate. Now, why? I'll still keep this pending because we have the next page to read. I'll ask you a question जो हम next page में answer करेंगे. The author says they had plans for their children while she was pregnant कि हम बच्चों के साथ hiking करेंगे, kayaking करेंगे. They wanted to superimpose their own childhoods into their children's childhood, and the parents are wrong. Their kids like soccer instead of skiing. What does it have to do with climate change? अभी तक यहां तक पढ़ के लग रहा था let me explain this. Till this moment, while you were reading, it looked like you wanted to superimpose your childhood activities to your child's childhood. The climate change didn't let that happen. Till this point, we understood that. What does the second line have to do with climate change? Nothing. It's about what a child wants to do. Maybe he doesn't want to kayak. He wants to go play video games. Has nothing to do with the climate change. Possibly the author is hinting towards something else. Let's continue with the next page and answer this question in our head. Okay? Yes, the superimpose matters. Next page. Read this and send me a done. Okay. Alifia, let me explain this. Alifia says, ma'am, I'm not getting why wildfire is just premise because the whole passage there it talks about wildfire. But dekho, let's understand the difference between a premise and the main argument the author is trying to put up. अगर wildfire main argument है, तो सारा पैसेज ये बताने के लिए लिखा है कि wildfire खराब है, wildfire आपकी लाइफ को डिसरप्ट कर रहा है, wildfire आपके बच्चों के चाइल्डहुड को हैम्पर कर रहा है. बट अगर wildfire एक एग्जाम्पल की तरह यूज्ड है ये बताने के लिए कि कैसे क्लाइमेट चेंज बच्चों की लाइफ को इंपैक्ट कर रहा है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल wildfire इस स्टोरी में there could be other things as well. In this page, when you see the author not letting the child go out for various reasons, one could be wildfire, two could be any other kind of pollution as well. So ultimately, wildfire is used as an example, even if it is mentioned, touched upon multiple times in the passage. Wildfire एक एग्जाम्पल की तरह यूज है ये बताने के लिए कि क्लाइमेट चेंज हो रहा है और ये क्लाइमेट चेंज हमारे बच्चों की चाइल्डहुड को हैम्पर कर रहा है. Are you convinced now, Alifia? And I have another question. In the penultimate paragraph, I had asked you, children don't go out because उनकी choice different हो गए हैं. उनको skiing नहीं करना, उनको video games खेलना है, piano नहीं करना. Basically, क्या ये line भी hint कर रही है towards climate change? Yes or no? Is this line also hinting towards climate change? Krishna at 11. Friday, Saturday, 11 a.m. Yes, this line also hints towards climate change because उस बच्चे के पास कोई choice नहीं है, नीलू. He doesn't have a choice. उसकी mom को उसके लिए Paw Patrol play करना पड़ेगा because he has no choice. That is explained in the next page. They say screen time is actually a salvation now. So the choice of children changed because they have no other choice. They can't go out. Remember the toddler banging his shovel on the sand bucket. He wanted to go out, but since he's unable to go out, what would he do? He'll stay indoors. He'll find activities he could do indoors, like playing a piano, watching Paw Patrol, or playing some puzzles. Children have no choice. Since they have no choice, they indulge more into indoor games. That also hints towards climate change. It is, of course, indicating towards the mood of the author. Okay. So, of course, this is a part of the story continuing. They go on with their lives. They stay indoors. They buy soda. They buy snacks. They want to go out, but they are unable to go out. Okay. This paragraph, any argument or premise? Yes, that's the only means of escape for them. Playing piano, watching Paw Patrol. Does their likelihood, their inclination towards indoor games, indoor activities. The last paragraph, any argument or only premise? You see, the last paragraph also supports the same thing that we were discussing right now. The child wants to go out. Prapti, यही तो argument है that it can be played indoors and he wants to stay indoor क्योंकि उसके पास choice नहीं है, उसको बाहर नहीं जाना. वो जाना है, he can't go out. This supports the main idea. Its premise, only setting up the plot again, that the child wants to go out, he's unable to go out. He wants to go ride the Mingo. Mingo is the flamingo because he's a toddler, he can't say it clearly. He wants to go out, but it's hazy, he can't go out. Climate change hinting towards the main argument. Last page, read this and tell me if there's a conclusion the author draws here. I'm sorry. Is there a conclusion the author draws? Do you see a conclusion drawn by the author? Yes. What is it? What is the conclusion? Answer this. What is the conclusion the author draws? The first question. The next question is, okay, let me first check out your answers. Adopting to climate change. Okay. All right. Chalo, before you answer what exactly is the conclusion, tell me, why is the author guilty of denial? Kya denial hai? What is the author denying? And why is the author guilty of that denial? If you answer this, you'll know the conclusion. Snehal, I'll keep your answer pending. I've read your answer. Prapti, I'll keep your answer pending. Answer this question. Why is the author still in denial? What is the author denying here? We are responsible. The climate is changing. Yet the author isn't accepting the fact that the world is about to end. Our children will have a different childhood. The author is unable to accept all this. Yes, the author doesn't. Snehal, absolutely correct. And your conclusion was also correct. The author denies the fact that the climate has changed. The author is very hopeful that, okay, in 2 days the sky is going to be clear. The wildfires are going to stop. Very hopeful, very optimistic. So she's in denial that we are on an inevitable path of destruction. She denies that. She thinks, okay, smoke hai, ek din rahega, 2 दिन बाद khatam ho jayega. My child is going to go out and play with the mingo. The author is very optimistic in the last line. Yes. And that's why the author says, she says, I'm in the mode of denial here. She does not want to accept the fact that we are on an inevitable part of destruction because of climate change. I hope you got this one. Okay. Now, of course, the tone here is going to be pretty much narrative because there is storytelling and there is pretty much narrative only. There's no analysis. There's only storytelling. Now, I hope you found this article an interesting one, but we have the last page here. Read this page and send me a done. Don't let the technical cars hijack my chat. It's not my birthday today. Read the last page. Does the author continue with her optimism towards the end? Do you see the optimism? And that's shattered. So the story goes on from being pessimistic to optimistic to acceptance of the fact that this is what it is. The world is ending. We are spending another day indoors. That's not like the life I had imagined for my kids. But the author is no more optimistic here. Absolutely turns into a pessimistic one. That finally the world is about to end. All right. So now, okay. So that was about the article. This was the last page. Now, I have a surprise for all of you. Before I disclose the surprise, I have a complaint with you. The complaint is you guys don't share the video. Why don't you share it? I mean, you're a part of so many Telegram groups, so many WhatsApp groups. I'll not name them. जाओ spam कर दो सारे groups को सब जगह अल्पा मैम का video editorial analysis share कर दो सब जगह. Do me this favor, give me this Guru Dakshina na. Hit a like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet. The article is from the New York Times. Okay, now finally comes to terms with the Earth's destruction. Yes, correct, Vanchika. Now, the surprise. So I was thinking about, we've been reading so many articles for so long and we've been analyzing them. I've been teaching you how to identify the main idea, tone and everything. And I've been focusing a lot on how main idea is supremely important in every passage that you read. That is, if you're investing your time in reading an article, you need to know the main idea. I thought of doing a bit of practice every time regarding main idea. So, starting today, every class that I have with you, I'll be bringing you one small paragraph. And I'll be asking you to find out the main idea of that paragraph along with options. Would you like to do this question with me right now, starting today? I'll be sharing a paragraph with you, a short paragraph. I'll be giving you 4 options. You have to identify one option that describes the main idea of the passage. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dia. Here you go with the first day, that is today. The article is here. Read the page. Send me a done. The options are in the next page. You have to tell me what the main idea of this paragraph is. All the best. Close options. Changing the slide with your options. Four options. Which one do you think encompasses the main idea of the passage? Okay, Krishna. Okay, Snehal. Okay. So it's a pretty much unanimous B. ठीक है. And A. Okay. I'm glad I brought this question. Not even a single correct answer to this question. आपसे मैंने क्या पूछा था? Inference या main idea? Main idea पूछा था ना? Inference क्यों मार्क कर रहे हो? Main idea is पूरा paragraph किस चीज को हिंट कर रहा है? Dia is the only person marking it correctly. The correct answer is a C. Preeti, C is the correct answer. B is an inference. It does not encompass the whole paragraph's gist. Let me explain this. Why is B wrong? अब आ रहा है समझ में? Let me explain this again. Let's go back to the paragraph. ठीक है? हम main idea कैसे निकालते हैं? हम summary कैसे निकालते हैं? हम gist कैसे निकालते हैं? This could very likely be a critical reasoning question also, where you are asked to identify the argument or gist or summary of the paragraph. We focus on the author's argument. We focus on the author's opinion, okay, and the claims the author has made. Always remember, when I have a contradiction, what comes before this is probably useless. What is important is what comes after it. I've been telling you this for so long. अब एक बार समझो कैसे ऑथर क्या बोल रहा है. बायोलॉजिस्ट पब्लिश करते हैं अपनी रिसर्च वेब पे तो उनको रोग बोल देते हैं लोग, उनको बोलते हैं that you are just trying to break the regular flow of work, आप गलत कर रहे हो, आप wrong कर रहे हो. Rogue is a negative phrase. Okay, so if any biologist publishes his research directly on web, तो उनको आप नेगेटिवली लेबल कर देते हो. बट अगर वही काम फिजिसिस्ट करते हैं तो उनको बहुत अप्रिशिएट किया जाता है. सेम काम, ठीक है, प्रीप्रिंस बोल के अगर वो पब्लिश कर देते हैं बायोलॉजिस्ट, तो उनको पॉजिटिवली देखा जाता है. Advocates of preprints. Who are advocates? People who promote preprints. They say preprints are necessary because quick and open dissemination of research is done. So they appreciate preprints. For some reason, this reason, they say preprints are necessary. But some journals still don't accept research previously published as a preprint. मतलब अभी तक advocate जो भी बोल रहा है कि preprint होना चाहिए does not matter. There are still some people who don't accept preprints. Even if the idea of preprint is being popular these days, biologists have been printing it already, advocates are promoting preprints, we have a big barrier of biologists. They cannot make preprints because they are scared of their conservative research community, because these people will label them as rogue. Let's understand why is B wrong. Compared to biologists, physicists are less conservative in their acceptance of digital. They are. वो कम कंजर्वेटिव हैं. करेक्ट है, इन्फरेंस करेक्ट है. बट ये बताने के लिए क्या पूरा पैराग्राफ लिखा है कि बायोलॉजिस्ट कम है, ज्यादा कंजर्वेटिव है, और फिजिसिस्ट कम कंजर्वेटिव है? ये कंपैरिजन ड्रॉ करने के लिए बताया गया है पूरा पैराग्राफ? नो. एंड thus B, exactly, Vanshika, B only draws the difference between party A and B. But the whole passage was not written to differentiate between the parties. It was to draw the conclusion towards the end that biologists, even if preprints are getting popular, biologists are unable to go forward with preprints because of their conservative society who would label them as rogues. Read option C. While digital publication is gaining popularity, preprints are gaining popularity. Peer-reviewed journals are reluctant to accept papers because of XYZ reasons, and they label them as rogue. That is the summary of the whole paragraph. Do you agree with it, everyone? I am glad I brought this question for you. Preprints of research are frowned on by some scientific fields as they do not undergo rigorous reviewing process, but are accepted among biologists as a quick way to dissemination. Yes, but उसका क्या impact है? Option A does not refer to that. That's why A also is wrong. So I'm going to be bringing one article, such question every day now onwards. Okay, and we'll be practicing main idea with this methodology. Now I'll be sharing today, sharing two articles in my background from the Aeon, which I want you to read over the course of the next few days. Okay, so sharing the Aeon in my background, please stick with me. I'll recommend two articles that you should read, which are going to be interesting for you. I hope you had read the two articles I had recommended in the last class. Here we go. Give me a second, sharing it in my background. Just a minute. One second. Here is the Aeon. Got it. PPT here. This is the first article I want all of you to read. Better main idea could have been that the variation in time has nothing to do with gaining popularity. Yeah, C is the best amongst all. Correct. Okay. Now the first article I want you to read, you can read one today. I'll recommend two more articles from various other sources in tomorrow's class as well. Probably a short story to you. Why we crave. If you remember in the last class, on last Friday, I had given you an article on the amendment in the Act on Prohibition of Sale and Transportation of Intoxicating Liquor. This article has something to do with cravings and addictions as well. So we're going to read this article. Okay, it's a pretty similar topic to what we had done in the last class. And the next article we're going to do is Care from Afar. So it's basically After COVID, everything has become online, and how care also has become online. We're going to be reading this article. Very interesting. Read both the articles. Both are there in the Aeon. I'm sharing the link to both the articles in the chat box right now. Make sure you read them in the chat right now. One is shared and the other one is right here. Make sure you find both the articles, read them. I shall see you again at 11 a.m. tomorrow with another interesting piece of article. Have a very good day, everyone. But before that, one more thing that I have to show you, and that is make sure you do not skip this mock. Make sure you sit for this mock. The window starts today, closes on 2nd of October. जल्दी से enroll कर लो, जल्दी से register कर लो और mock दे दो. Make sure do not leave the class without liking it, commenting under my video if you think you have benefited with the class. Share the video with your friends. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a very, very good day. God bless you.